Hey, what's up, Internet? Thought I would put together a really quick video to give you my initial thoughts and impressions of this game, Rumbleslam. So, Rumbleslam is a 2 or more player tabletop miniatures game. It's actually a board game in the spirit of, say, a Blood Bowl or a sports miniature game, maybe a little more towards the Blood Bowl side of things and a little bit less towards the Guild Ball side of things. In that Blood Bowl plays on squares or spaces, just like this game Rumbleslam does. In Rumbleslam, players control a number of wrestlers who are in a wrestling rumble, and the object of the game is to finish the 5 turns by having the highest amount of dosh still in the ring, essentially the highest points value of the players. So when you build your team in Rumbleslam, you normally agree upon a set dosh value, sort of like a dollar amount for Blood Bowl. You might play 1,000,000 Blood Bowl for a team in Blood Bowl. In this game, you would play 1,000,000 for a light game, 1.5 million for a regular game, or you could have games up to 2.5 million. The game uses tiered dice. So you have like silver dice, gold dice. This is a special dice called a crowd dice, and you can see it's got a boo here, and it's got a cheer and a blank face. And we'll get into that one in a minute. But essentially, the tiered dice system has the weakest dice being copper, that having the most blank faces, and then silver, and then finally gold, which has only one blank space. So similar to like a Super Dungeon Explorer or something like that, your characters have a bunch of stats that they use, and you can see that it tells you the number and color of dice that you use when you use that particular stat. So for example here, the High Flyer has an attack stat of 2 copper and a defense stat of 1 silver. So this is a very simple game in terms of it being a miniatures game and a board game. It's fairly intuitive. You have a number of spaces you can go. In her case, it's going to be 5 spaces. And then the star is the number of actions she can perform. And different actions require different amounts of AP. So this character, for example, can move 5 spaces, and she can interrupt her move at any point to do 1 or more actions and then continue moving afterwards. So you can see on the back side of the card, you have some different special actions there. Here's how many AP it costs. And then here is the special number of attack dice that you're throwing for this particular, this is like a rope action, and then the number of the amount of damage that maneuver causes, and it might also include some special effects that happen in parentheses, such as this one, the Angelic Apocalypse here, causes the dazed condition if it lands. So essentially you roll that attack stat against the defender's attack stat, and the number of successes, or the difference in the successes between attacker and defender, determines what happens. So again, it's a very simple system. What I love about it is that there are mechanics to bounce off of the ropes. There are also mechanics to get on the turnbuckles, jump off the turnbuckles, do some aerial maneuvers there. And then there are even maneuvers to smash people into the turnbuckle. And then you also have this crowd dice, like I was explaining earlier. There are going to be different parts of the game where audience participation is important. You may have do an aerial maneuver and see if it triggers a crowd pleaser. And crowd pleasers are an interesting mechanic as well. So for example, if this character, for example, if she gets her crowd pleaser off, the next time this wrestler uses Angelic Apocalypse, it costs 0 AP. So essentially, like for example, she could climb up on that turnbuckle, hit an opposing wrestler, trigger the crowd cheering mechanic, and if the crowd cheers, then she gets that crowd pleaser bonus as well. So it's a really fun game. It's super thematic. And in my opinion, this game gets what I feel Blood Bowl has lost, if I'm being honest. I mean, it's one of the things that I really liked about Blood Bowl is it's a fantasy football game, and it didn't take itself too seriously. It stayed heavily within the theme, and it poked a lot of fun at itself. And you know, there were a lot of humorous characters, a lot of modern day references buried in Blood Bowl, and just a lot of character to the game. And I feel like you know, the modern version of Blood Bowl has kind of stripped that out. In terms of trying to make it a more serious game, and that's unfortunate, because that's really what I liked about Blood Bowl, and it's what I love about Rumbleslam. There's so many character references to modern day wrestlers, favorite movie characters, even comic book characters in this game, that really makes the whole experience worthwhile. And again, it's a very simple system, very straightforward gameplay, and it's really light, yet it's not, you know, completely imbalanced. Now, that said, I've only played 2 games, and I'm sure there may be some character combos that are going to be much stronger than other combos. I mean, that's normal with any sort of miniatures game. So, you know, I accept that as it is. We haven't come across anything completely broken, but this game has only been out about a year or so. You can get this game in a 2-player starter set, which is fantastic. It includes the human team and an orc team. So let's see here. It's going to include this team here, the Green Bruisers, and it's also going to include the Heavy Pounders on that. And you can see there are a number of teams. Again, they're all fantasy theme based. So that's, for example, that's a Dark Elf team. The 2 teams that you're looking at here are my 2 teams. This is the Deadly Divas. This is like an all-female team from the Gomorrah Casino, and then you have the Timber Fists. They're sort of like an Amazonian style team. So bottom line, super fun game. You can see the miniatures. They're I believe these are 25, maybe 30 millimeter scale. So they're right in there with like your Guild Ball miniatures and standard fare there. They're a little bit bigger than Infinity, so they're probably more towards 30 millimeter than anything. These clear acrylic bases are 25 millimeter, and then on the big characters, these are 50 millimeter. They do come with these clear acrylic bases, which is kind of a mixed blessing. I mean, they look fantastic. You can see I screwed up on one there. You've got some of the glue visible. So I'm still kind of working out how to tackle that. I'm so used to doing my own basing and so forth that I'm getting used to that kind of stuff. Yeah, the miniatures are high quality resin, and frankly, they're much better than I thought they would be. You might be able to see some of the stream footage of me painting this stuff either on Twitch and also archive here on YouTube. Bottom line, this has been by far one of the most pleasurable miniature gaming experiences for me in a long time, and it's both in terms of the modeling. As you can see, I have an MDF. This is a special ring that you can buy. It doesn't come in the standard set. The standard set comes with a neoprene mat. You know, so you're on a wrestling mat like that, a 1x1, which is not bad. I mean, neoprene mats are nice. They make it nice and portable, and they're durable. I obviously love to use neoprene mats for most of my miniature gaming. But hey, if you're going to play a game that plays on a 1x1, why not get the beautiful Murica style ring here? And this is an MDF ring. It's also made by Tabletop Combat. So you can get all this stuff on their site. I did not actually buy the starter box. I just kind of pieced mine together based on the pieces I wanted. And it's a very affordable game. The starter sets usually run around $35, $36. And you can not only get them on Tabletop Combat, but you could get them on Amazon. And then obviously you might be able to find something on eBay as well. Painting the miniatures was super fun. Really enjoyed that as well. And I'm looking forward to collecting it and showing off more games of it. I think it's going to be one of the best games for me to stream here on the channel. So you can see games like this, games like Guild Ball, maybe Wrath of Kings. Those are good because they're either small, they're either terrain light, or they're more 2D. There's a slight 3D element in this game in terms of the aerial maneuvers, but not much more than that. So I don't know what else to tell you about this game other than I absolutely love it. It is so pro wrestling, like it really, really does a phenomenal job of capturing everything that we loved about pro wrestling in the 80s and putting that in a miniatures theme game that I expect to be playing a lot of this game for a long time. So with that, I think we're going to draw this video to a close. Again, look forward to seeing some content like this, either in terms of painting or playing the game on my Twitch channel, also here on YouTube. And so that's really all I wanted to say. I mean, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, go ahead and leave those in the comments. Man, I am so excited to play this game. It's super fun. Like I said, it's super easy. And we're just going to have a blast playing it. So that's going to do it for this video. I want to thank everybody for watching. Have a good one, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.